The average is 3.
Sometimes you might wait until number 5.
This is not just the number of goals in each Liverpool game in 2018, a feat there was no compulsion to match in this pedestrian second leg, but the number of questions in an Anfield Champions League press conference before somebody referenced Istanbul.
Can Liverpool do what they did in 2005?
Players and manager will be rehearsed in their response after this exercise in game control against Porto.
Liverpool's history is a stalker, and now they are back in the quarter-finals. The reminders of what's gone before become more frequent.
In fairness, chanting about Istanbul was the only way to keep entertained in a monotonous second leg. The tie already won 3 weeks ago.
But there are occasions you suspect Klopp would willingly impose a restraining order on the club's past as he seeks to inspire the next generation without sensing the heavy breath of those who tread a glorious path before. Jamie Carragher and Steven Gerrard. The question, can Liverpool win the Champions League and a 6th European Cup this season?
In Istanbul, Liverpool won the European Cup for a 5th time.
As fans on Merseyside occasionally remind people, credit Getty Images. Reducing European nights at Anfield to testimonial pace is certainly a break with tradition, the lack of tension here inevitable with Liverpool protecting a 5-0 lead.
So too is the luxury of resting star players such as Mohamed Salah.
It is another example how this Liverpool side has far more quality and depth than the side that actually won the competition under Rafael Benitez. Anfield's honours board is more assistance than hindrance, of course. The romantic tales of yore are fundamental to Liverpool's ability to lower.
Without it, you could argue coaches of Klopp's ilk would not be at the club.
That does not also mean it is not, just occasionally, a pain in the backside to those seeking to create their own European memories.
Too often the Istanbul question is worthy of a roll of the eyes, in danger of being misappropriated in the services of cliché.
By becoming the first Liverpool team to reach the quarterfinals since 2009, this team is already in a position to create new memories without the compulsion to summon the spirit of others.
Are managers of other English clubs expected to undergo the same journeys through time when considering what comes next?
Is a mention of Barcelona in 1999 a prerequisite of any José Mourinho press conference?
Does persistent questioning as to whether Chelsea players can recreate the spirit of Munich in 2012 shadow Antonio Conte? Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen Klopp at Anfield on Tuesday night. Credit Getty Images.
Whenever Klopp is asked about replicating Benitez's team, one is put in mind of how the Spanish coach felt when asked if he could repeat Gerard Houlliér's treble-winning season.
Or how Houllier responded when quizzed on the difficulties of recreating the 60s, 70s and 80s.
were uninterested and sometimes irked by it, but were able to make the step from history chaser to history maker.
Both are now guaranteed the VIP seat on the nostalgia trips, but they will empathize with Klopp.
He too is obsessed with doing it his way, and we have already witnessed how different that is.
Istanbul has its place in the club museum, and each May 25th, celebrated for what it meant then and what it will always mean to those who reveled in it, but it has no bearing on whether this Liverpool team will win the club's 6th European Cup.
Liverpudlians are masters of storytelling and, as Houllier and Benitez demonstrated in 2001 and 2005, visionaries are not interested in repeats.
They created something fresh and dynamic, standing alone from what had gone.
The attention now turns to the quarter-final. Klopp and Liverpool asked to consider which side they would most like to avoid.
A raucous Anfield will be bottom of the wanted list of every other side. That was not the case with a weaker time that achieved the improbable 13 years ago.
Klopp, inevitably, will dutifully and deferentially acknowledge the reminders of Istanbul every time he walks onto the UEFA stage.
But he will be maintaining the finest traditions of Liverpool's heritage by glancing over his shoulder with little more than respectful, ceremonial curiosity.
He is far more interested in ensuring the Liverpool flag flies at another Champions League final venue, giving his players and fans another topic of conversation: Kiev in 2018.
Moment which changed the match. Only a Liverpool calamity was going to change the direction of this tie. It never looked likely.
Only Salah's late introduction brought excitement.
Most influential player. Emre Can. It was an evening for disciplined midfielders. Liverpool's high-pressing game applied rarely.
He controlled the tempo, or what there was of one.
Crowd rating.
There were a few attempts at making this seem a normal tie, but with 5-0 lead, rallying cries were unnecessary.
5/10. Referee rating. Felix Swear, Gare, had nothing to do.
7/10. Match rating. This was a Liverpool European night in name only, lacking the intensity and noise.
It will be different in the next round.
3/10.